All right, welcome back to the channel. I got a little project going here now that's I'm not going to use the word restoring because that's a stretch. I'm fixing up an old gas pump. It was actually given to me by a good friend of mine, and it was in pretty bad shape. I think the guy that did the body work before he got it did it with a bucket tractor. He had kind of whaled it back into shape, and then it sat around for a long time, and then he gave it to me, and then I did some more body work, which was a ball peen hammer on the tailgate of my dump truck, trying to shape it back up. But this is what we ended up with. That's just sitting there. I only had, now look at all the gas pump purists out there. You might want to just go watch somebody else, but click subscribe before you leave. But you may not like this a lot. I only had one door, so I just made a panel for the back. I didn't have big enough piece of sheet metal, so I had to make it in two pieces. But this is going to be against the wall. All I want it for is to sit in front of my garage and look cool, and I refuse to put a ton of money into this. So I have one door, which is in equally horrible shape. Right here, you can see I've troweled on a lot of Bondo. I'll be grinding some of that off and leaving most of it. And I'm going to paint the door white. Deal with that later. But for now, I wanted to get started. I'm going to just put some of the mechanicals. I don't have the pump or the computer or anything for it. It's going to be dummied. I have it had the face from the computer, so I've just rigged up a way to hang that in the door when I put the door together. And it does have ad glass, so there will be a light in the ad glass. Interesting, right or wrong? No, just wrong. Since I don't have the computer, I just took some PVC pipe and some JB weld, and I ripped the pipe in the table saw so it's round, kind of like the computer is, and then I glued them in there, and then I just put the decals on the face, and really it kind of looks pretty normal. 9/24/94, that's my anniversary. Pretty romantical right there. I'm just gonna get doing some of the mechanicals. I'm not gonna do anything with the door yet. There's a little progress. I bought some new stuff, and some of it I just jerry rig, or any old stuff's good enough. I bought a new handle, but it doesn't have a computer in it, obviously, so I just made a piece that kind of holds the handle out there, lined up with the hole where the crank used to go through. I just went with a little hardware store latch here. Oops. This thing on top, the gas pump guys are going, that ain't right. Well, you're right. That's a boogered up weld job there, and that is actually a piece of an old gas station sign. No, I didn't cut up a sign. It was somebody gave me just a chunk of it there. So that'll be kind of cool to raise the globe up. It's a little different. I got a little wiring I got to do, and then this bottom part will be finished. I'm gonna do I did a photo eye here, so the lights will turn themselves on and off. At night, I'll just I gotta get some cord. I'll run a cord out the bottom corner down there, and That'll just plug in to the wall, and so at night the globe on top will light up, and so will the ad glass, which is below. Power X, that'll light up in the the computer face will light up a little bit, and that'll just be automatic, because I would never turn it on if it wasn't, let's face it. I think that's about all there is to it, though. But for this pump, I had to buy that. I bought the chrome handle, which it didn't have. I had to drill the holes for. The rest of it's just sort of jerry-rigged. I guess that must be nickel. It's not chrome. I don't know. I had cleaned it all up and polished it, and it's sitting around it's been sitting for quite a while now, waiting for the rest of it to get painted, and it kind of aged to a funny color. I didn't even bother painting the inside thing there for the hose. It's fine. It'll be fine. So like I said, I got a little wiring to do inside. And I really can't finish that until I get the door done and on. So I guess that'll be the next thing. I'll have to get that door up on some sawhorses and have at it. Get this thing done, get it outside. I think it's going to look pretty cool. I already have a eco air meter that's outside that I fixed up a year ago probably. Did the same thing with that, put a photo eye in it so it turns the light on and off and all by itself. So they're kind of like a night light down here in front of the garage, so it should be cool. Anyways, we'll keep moving on. The next thing to tackle is that ugly door over there. All right, I've got an empty bay, so I'm gonna take advantage. I'm gonna get that door for that gas pump up on some sawhorses. Hopefully, just sand the Bondo kind of smoothish one time, and a little sandable primer, and I'm hoping that gets me close enough I can just paint it white and be done with it. I really don't love. I really hate bodywork in general. So I'm trying to make this as quick and painless as I can. I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but I hate bodywork. And this door was really kind of trashed. I mean, when I say was, I mean, it still is pretty trashed. Anyways, I thought I'd stop and before I sand off all the Bondo and have to put on a bunch more, I'd stop and grab about a few different signs for the door, and I don't know, I'm not sure which one I'm gonna use. Definitely gonna be Sinclair. I have a lubester that I gotta restore too. It's outside. I think that should get the motor oil one, so that's definitely not it. So I guess the only question is which one of them. This is kind of the older style. I think that's pretty cool. I don't know, it's gonna be on the door underneath that's the globe. And then the ad glass matches the globe pretty good. So it's Power X. So I guess maybe this one, I like that one. So I'm thinking what I should do is drill the holes and figure out where I want that thing, drill the holes. Maybe I can strategically locate it in a way that covers up maybe maximize the coverage of the bondoed up cob job and rusty crappiness in this area. So I guess that's what I'll do. I'll kind of slide that around and try to find the sweet spot, and I better drill those holes now rather than wait till after it's painted and booger it all up. So I'll do that. I'll figure out where it's going and get the holes done, and maybe I'll do a little. Oh God, I hate it so much. It's at that point where what it needs is, I guess, Bondo to fill in the little divots and stuff, but it's very tempting to just sand it some more, but then you end up with, no Bondo left, and I just don't like it very much. So it might be just the way it's gonna be. That's fine. It's gonna be white, which hides a lot of ugliness. That works for me. We'll see. I don't know. I'm just gonna have to roll with it here and see how the mood takes me. Well, this is one of the problems of hating bodywork so much, is your stuff sits around and kind of goes bad, not good. Anyways, my Bondo is taking forever to harden. It is hardening though. So I figured while I'm waiting for that, I'd spray on some sandable primer, try to start filling in some rust pits and stuff. So now I just gotta stand around and wait for the paint to dry, I guess, and the Bondo to harden. And then we'll get back at it, get her smoothed up. I couldn't resist, I was hoping to not have to put any more Bondo on, but I couldn't leave it as bad as it was, so I had to fill in some of those pits. Hopefully this is it. Get this Bondo sanded, go over the whole thing with some finer paper, try to get rid of some of the rust pits, and then she'll be good enough for paint. We're getting closer. Okay, forgot to hit record there one time. That's cool. Anyways, what I've done is I've taken 80 grit, sanded all the Bondo down. She is what we like to call good enough. I am not a fussy guy when it comes to this sort of thing. So now what I've got is 80 grit sand scratches everywhere. Not to mention, other issues, but we're gonna ignore those. This is just a Rust-Oleum job, not a real classy, auto quality paint stuff. I've got some, let's see, I can show you. I've got filler primer. So that's basically just a high build primer. It's thick, so it'll fill in sand scratches, sort of. And I'm just gonna dust a coat of this on and then put a heavy coat of this on, and I don't know if it dries quick enough, I'll sand it tonight again with the orbital, but I'll put probably 220 or 320 or whatever I got on it. And then it should be ready for just a final coat of primer and then spray paint. I'd love to think I could get it all done tonight so I could work on it tomorrow, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna get there. It is starting to get dark out and I'm starting to get a little bit peckish. I'll try to remember to hit record this time. Okay, now, I'm sure that some of you are screaming at me because I put the primer on too heavy or whatever it's gonna run, I don't know. But yes, I did. I put the boots right to it. I don't care if it runs. I need to get some material on here and get it drying. You'll notice that I focused a lot on up here and down the sides, and that's because when you walk up to this gas pump, that's gonna be kind of your focal point, unless you're a little kid, but you're gonna see the sign, which is gonna cover up this crap. You're gonna look at the ad glass, the face, And then you're going to look at what's up at eye level, right, which is the top here. So when this dries, I'll sand it. The runs and stuff should disappear. Most of this primer will get sanded off because it's just, all I want to do is keep it in the low spots, which are the scratches and stuff like that. And I know there's lots of flaws here, and we're going to let them fly. I'll sand it, and then I'm just going to do a light coat of regular primer, non-filling primer, and then I'll probably just scuff it, and then I'll be ready to paint it white. And that's just going to be a matter of how quickly will it dry, because it's not super warm in my shop here. I forgot you were with me, and I moved the door out of frame and didn't move the camera. Anyways, I got it spray painted. The old rattle can come through. The trick to high quality, you want the best quality spray paint job. I'm going to tell you right now what the trick is. You got to have your tongue sticking out a little bit while you're doing it. As long as you got the tongue sticking out the corner of the mouth, you'll get a nice quality job. I mean, that's shiny. It's not bad. I mean, if you get down and you look at the bodywork, I mean, is it perfect? Yes, it is. It's perfect. I love it. So, it's white. I'm gonna probably, I got some rattle can clear. I'll probably put a coat of clear on it, and it'll look exactly the same, but hopefully hold up to the sunshine a little bit better. And then I'm hoping tomorrow I'll be able to flip it over and get all the stuff bolted in it. All right, oh, there she is, all lit up. I wanted to show you, in case you're monkeying with an old pump yourself, but the thing with this pump I mentioned earlier, I switched that door around. I put the hinges on the other side just so that I could do what I just did, which was to reach in here and open it. Normally you'd have to reach all the way to the far side and open it. So I flipped this thing, and then I cut the holes and moved the hinges over to the other side. And that allows me to open it this way. Normally it opens the other way. And that way you can just reach in through this hole, pop the door open real easy. I think normally they had like a linkage or something, but you know, all that crap's missing. So I did what I had to do. If you're messing with an old pump, this is a Bennet pump, but they're all probably similar. I haven't worked on many of them, but normally the computer is in here. They call it the computer. It's not a computer like we know it nowadays, but it computed the cost of the sale, right? So that's what they called it. And normally this face, I think, is bolted right to the computer. So when you open this door up, normally that doesn't go with it. It stays in there. All this is the glass. And so I had to kind of rig up a way to mount this, and I wanted to show you that in case you're wanting to do the same thing. There, easier to see. So I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. So I had to buy this ring. This ring is new. The glass, of course, is new, and he had glass and stuff. So normally this ring, this stainless steel frame that holds the glass pieces, is just bolted right here. You just put a little bolt in and tighten it, and that's that. You know, because all it has to do is hold the glass. But I wanted to rig up a way to hold this on to the door, since I don't have any of the guts here to bolt it to. So just in case somebody out there is struggling with the same thing, all I did was cut some bolts off, big long bolts, used them as a stud. I ran a nut on here to tighten that frame like normal, you know. Came out to here where I had taken a couple pieces of, actually this is a piece of sheet metal I bent. This is just a piece of crap aluminum, something or other that I had. and I bolted them the same way that you normally bolt to the computer. So there's no new holes. You know, those are the same screw holes, and I used the right type of washer and that, so it all looks normal. There's one down here, there's two up here, and there's one, probably I can barely see it there. So that top one's just a dummy, that's doing nothing. The two are here, and then the one is down here. It's hidden behind the light fixture, but it's right in there. So these pieces are bolted to that thing, and then I bolted them here using the same stud. I just drew that down until that was snug, which holds it tight all along the frame there. And then this one, the reason I bent this myself was because I needed it to be kind of wide. I just drilled a hole in it, stuck a regular old lamp light socket there, wired it in with the others. I'll do a little zip tying and taping to tidy up those wires. As far as electrical, the one thing I want to make sure I point out to you is always ground, always run a 3-prong plug, 3-conductor wire. This is an old lead cord that I cut off, but it's a good wire, you know, it's in good shape. And but always run the ground wire to the chassis. Make sure you got a good clean, you can see I ground it, you got a good clean ground. Because if something goes wrong, I mean, this is with a little cobby, let's face it. But if something should go wrong and I get a short circuit somewhere, I want to make sure that nobody can get a shock if something should. Normally, if you bared up a wire somehow, you know, it chafed on the edge of something, you could have a hot wire touching the frame and somebody could lean on this thing and get zapped, and you don't want that. So now if that happens and we get energized in the chassis, it'll just pop the breaker. So always make sure you ground anything that you're monkeying with, especially at, you know, higher voltages, house volt. If it was a 12-volt thing, it wouldn't be so important, but higher voltage it is. But that's that. I just wanted to show you how I did that in case you're trying to do the same thing. Like I said, I'm not a gas pump expert. I really don't know much about them. But this one seems to be all working, and I think it's gonna look pretty cool. I'm gonna tidy up my wires and get this thing buttoned up, and I'm gonna drag it outside. And it's dark out now, so I'll get some video of it out there all lit up. Should look cool. Yeah, before I drag it out, a quick look at it in the light. That's what it looks like. I just taped over the photo eye so the lights all stay on. That's that. And then I'll drag it outdoors and fire it up in the dark. You can check that out. I think it's going to be pretty cool. There she is, all lit up. Should make a nice night light out here in front of my shop. Pretty bright, a couple 40-watt LED bulbs, but lights up the whole, you know, whole kind of area around here pretty good. So I like that. It's nice. There's another project I can check off the list. I'm slowly whittling away at them here. I like that gas pump. If you got questions, throw them in the comments there. I don't know if I can be much help. Like I said, I'm not a gas pump guy, and all the guys that really are, they probably changed the channel when they saw me doing body work on it. Yeah, just if I can help you, I will. If you like this, don't forget, go down, click subscribe, like it, comment, click the bell. Don't really know what any of that does, but it's got to be good, I guess, unless your comment's bad. I don't know. That's it. God bless y'all, and God bless the United States of America.